Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Cicero Planning Board meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Zach, could you lead us off, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business is the approval of the January 21st minutes. Any questions or comments? Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a second. Second. Jim,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Zach. I
Yes.
vote yes for the minutes. They are approved. Now we'll open the meeting to public comment. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to address the board on any active application, you may do so now. When nobody's approached, we'll close the public input and move on to the first agenda item. This is a zone change recommendation for the property at 6668 and 6674 State Route 31 from AG to GC plus, agricultural to general commercial plus. Hi, Jim.
Good evening, Tim Coy, or News and Romans. As you're aware, we were here last meeting. And we incorrectly had this zone change for general commercial and not general commercial plus. So we reapplied and we're back again.
Thank you.
Again, this property is located on Route 31. It's right next to the highway garage, and basically behind us is the golf course. There's two parcels involved, roughly 2 acres between both of them. And they're looking for a general commercial plus in order to build some storage warehouses for their current business. Now, I understand that I don't want to get into too many details about the sketch plan and what they're planning on doing, but overall, that is they're going to be their general plan. I understand that the conceptual plan shows this area is roughly, I think it's agricultural, maybe residential on the concept plan. But again, you have a commercial highway office or highway garage on one side, and you have a commercial golf course on the other side. And I know that there's the overlay district now. I don't know if that's officially been put in place, but it was showing this as residential and mixed residential use. Part of that recommendation, part of that code does ask that the lots be 10 acres or more as far as part of those requirements. We don't meet that by any stretch. You could maybe do 2 residential single family lots here with these, but as far as doing a true mixed commercial residential, I don't know if you have enough room to do a ton on this lot, but again, that's up to the board's discussion, and I look forward to any questions or concerns.
Let me start. I just want to update the board on some information that we received. I'm not sure everybody got this, but we got the recommendation from the county planning board. Tim, did you get a copy of that?
Yes.
Everybody see that? I'm just going to read a small part of it. The GC plus district being intended for the coexistence of a commercial and light industrial uses does not seem to consist with the town's identified goals of reserving this area for residential and or agricultural. The town is encouraged to consider whether applying for the GC plus zoning designation to this area will allow future development of this location that is incompatible with the town's vision as stated in the comprehensive plan. So what they're saying is that we might be setting a precedent.
Yes, I understand that.
And then I received a copy of an email from John Steinman. He's our town consultant for the comprehensive plans that we've been doing and updating. And I'm going to just read a snippet of this. I don't think anybody else received this yet. So this decision will create a very important precedent along Route 31, regardless of which way you decide. If the town approves the zone change, it will likely foster additional requests that will become harder to say no. It will also serve to erode the direction established in the comprehensive plan and impact the ability to achieve not only the vision for Route 31, but for the areas of the town. If the town denies the request, it will reinforce that the town is committed to the direction established in the comprehensive plan. So his concern as well is what we might be setting as a precedent.
Well, to be fair, I fully agree that this does not necessarily match the comprehensive plan. To be perfectly fair, I came in here with a zone change like 6 months ago in the comprehensive, and it matched the comprehensive plan. And I was kind of told that the comprehensive plan really was just a map that we don't necessarily have to follow. So that is why I talked to my client, was like, I understand it doesn't meet the comprehensive plan, but this board seems to kind of look at things as an individual as they come in. So
So maybe
you
we
can
have-
understand the confusion that I'm getting a little bit of mixed signals here.
Yes. Maybe we set a precedent with that one. And I just wanted to go over some of the things that are allowed in the plus so that everybody's aware of it. Shopping center, hotels, motels, gas station, restaurants, health-related businesses, light assembly, auto sales, veterinary clinics, parking lots and garages, warehouses, distribution facilities, auto repair and manufacturing. So those are the things on top of general commercial that are allowed in the GC plus that the applicant now has to request. To be honest with you, the general commercial last time, I was kind of okay with that. Now the plus makes it a bit more difficult. And these letters that we received make it even a bit more difficult for me, but I'm interested in having some discussion. So Jim,
So what's the concern, that you're tying up land with single-family homes that could be used for?
we're tying up
Multiple-
land
multiple-
for GC plus. The use right now is not part of this discussion,
Right,
right?
okay.
So it's GC plus, and it will include anything in general commercial, as well as the things I just outlined. And it's in that overlay district for mixed residential. Did I answer your question?
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Chuck?
Well, quite frankly, I'm concerned about the not complying with the general overlay plan and what we used to call spot zoning, where it lies. And so I would tend to think it would be left alone.
Okay.
Mary?
I also have concerns. This area, I was on the strategic plan committee, and we want to keep the commercial businesses in a commercial district. I don't feel this is the right thing for this area.
Okay. I guess my only comment to the concerns about this is we're literally right next to the town highway garage,
Yes.
and putting a residential structure there, does that make sense to the board? Does it make more sense than general commercial, I guess? That's my thing. If it's supposed to be like a mixed residential type of use, I guess my thing is you're right next to the highway garage, which is industrial, almost heavy commercial. And you are thinking that this should be residential. Most times we wouldn't put residential next to something like that. That's my only question, concern, or comment.
And I agree with it. In fact, I think I made that a point at the last meeting when it was general commercial. So then what does that do to the property next to this? Right? I mean,
Well-
Well, that person could come and say, well, you got GC plus here, so.
So I guess my comment to that is, the property next to us is the golf course, which is a very large acre parcel. So you have a lot more leeway to buffer it, redesign it, and do something more residential with it being right next to this type of use. You don't have much ability to buffer and do what you should do if you're up against a highway garage for something if that's going to be resident. At least that's my opinion. Yeah, you could probably put like a small residential structure there, but how many parking and buffering? And again, you're right next to the highway garage. Who wants to live next to a highway garage?
Apartments.
Apartments, possibly, yeah. But again, how many apartments are you gonna fit on the 2 acres?
How long will the golf course be there?
Yeah, how long will the golf course be there?
It's not, this is not an easy.
I'm not, I'm just,
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. It's a difficult one.
I understand the comprehensive plan, I understand the overlay, and part of me questions if you're looking at some of the parcel sizes, when you're starting to, you call this mixed residential, most times mixed residentials are 5 acres to 10 acres, where you can design it with the buffering, with the landscaping, with everything that this board requires for a mixed residential use. You don't have that here. At least that's my opinion. I mean, that's all.
Mary, you good?
Yeah, just one other question.
Yeah.
Is your intention to combine the parcels?
Not at this time, no, possibly in the future, depending on, obviously if this doesn't go well, I don't know what the applicant's gonna do with the property.
Keep in mind, the focus is not on this particular use, right? It's on this particular zone change request. Zach,
I'm all set. Thank you.
Mike,
It was G, but now they're changing it to,
right now it's agricultural.
Okay.
When they were here in front of us last time, they came in for a request to go to commercial, GC, general commercial. But it turned out that what they want to put in there does not fit in general commercials. They need general commercial plus.
Right.
So right now it's agricultural.
I mean, I understand it, but it is gonna set a precedent. What? We had a problem before when we made a change that, remember, we had to change it back because it gave the person an opportunity to put anything in there. Is this situation gonna arise again? You know, I'm talking about maybe 2-3 months ago.
The cement plant,
Yes. So what adverse effect is this gonna have that it could not benefit us? I mean, not be good. Wording it right, but.
we'll ask Neil that when we get done.
Okay, all right, otherwise that's it, I'm just looking for the adverse possibilities.
Thank you. Judy?
As was brought up about spot zoning. Spot zoning obviously is really not recommended since we have started the comprehensive plan and trying, after all these years, to regulate the use of the property. Being that there is the need for land for residential, also the fact that with the golf course, I'm sure with the opportunity to someone come along with the right proposal that that golf course would be gone in a heartbeat and residential, multi-residential would, I believe, happen. As far as the highway garage goes, all of the trucking is to the rear and to the west side of the building. And there's residential on the other side of that property. And so my feeling is that if we were to recommend this going to a GC plus, it would open a can of worms for more spot zoning to come along. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Council? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that it's incumbent on you to look at things like the overall plan and to make a decision based on what you think of what's being presented. And I've heard a lot of good arguments, ultimately it's really gonna be a board decision. And all you're doing right now is making a recommendation.
Right.
The recommendation would, holds weight because the town board will receive it. But you're gonna make it on all the existing circumstances, including what you heard from your own experts.
What about the argument of setting a precedent?
we look at everything independently. While you say that, everything that we're gonna look at is independently. When you start doing that, you do set a precedent because other people are watching. So if you say, well, I'm gonna look at this site independently and that site independently, and you have 4 or 5, applications go the same way, or it does set it doesn't set a precedent that binds you, but it sets a precedence out in the community that they think, I can do this.
That makes me more comfortable that we're not binding ourselves to something. We can look at each one independently.
You are almost never gonna be bound by precedent of what you did in the past, because as an administrative body, you do not make law. You look at every situation independently. But the precedence isn't, you have to follow what you always do. The idea of a precedent in the manner that it was put to you by your expert was, it leads people in the community to think that this is what you can get this result. The agricultural can get this result, even though the overall plan says something different.
And then the discussion on spot zoning, I think we had a discussion on this a few years ago, that spot zoning really isn't a thing anymore. It used to be like a 5 acres.
It's a thing, but there's a multi-point test on it. And one of the things about spot zoning, one of the things is a result of careful planning. So if you go through the whole planning process and you can show on the record that, they looked at it, they didn't do it just to disadvantage certain landowners and to advantage, the applicant. It's not gonna be spot zoning. So it's not so much the size of it. It's more about how you went about the process and approvals and the rationale that went into it that you can show.
Thank you. Mark, any thoughts?
No, I think you're hearing the positions on each side. All making good points both ways, so you just have to decide which way you feel, as a board, so.
Any more thoughts or discussion? You're gonna make me do this. We got a quarter acre. So here's my thoughts. The fact that it's GC plus and the allowable uses that are provided within that zoning, I don't think are compatible. And with that said, it is gonna go in front of the town board one way or another. And we pretty much, we don't dictate policy, the planning board. We implement the procedures that are already set in place. And if the town board sees fit to make this zone change, then we can continue on with the site plan. But my opinion is that we should make a negative recommendation based on what I've heard so far.
Okay, I can put that in the form of a motion for you to recommend disapproval, but when you're voting yes, you're voting to disapprove.
Okay.
So the motion will be to make a negative recommendation and you vote yes to make that recommendation.
The motion's gonna be, you're gonna move for the adoption of a resolution recommending the disapproval of the application for a zone change known as Roland Luann Burke, 668 and 6674 State Route 31 agricultural to GC plus.
And would somebody like to make that a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second? Chuck? Jim? Your vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is for a site plan review. This is for the property at 6345 Delilius
Daedalus, yes.
Road. This is for proposed
Thank you.
residential commercial paving business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an existing, operation. Again, Tim Coyer, I News and Romans. Yes, this property is located at the end of Daedalus Road. This is an existing paving sealing operation. There is a existing masonry building here with a contractor service yard back here where all the gravel is. They've been operating here for a few years. Unfortunately, they did not get a site plan when they first came into start using this property. They have been cited by the town. They are in court for that. We are here to try to clean that up, try to get their site plan in place, get them, legal and all conforming with the town. This is the very first step. One of the big things that that came up is the wetlands that are back here. We are in the process of getting some type of letter from the DEC. That's probably going to take some time. The wetlands were delineated back in 2022. At that time, we did reach out to DEC and they never responded. But we're going to try and get something from them now. Tonight is more of with the understanding that we still gotta get the DEC letter and find out what the DEC has to say. But tonight is more about, does the board have any questions, concerns relative to what we're showing here? Any changes that you might want to see, any comments, so that when we do finally come back, we can kind of wrap this up in a fairly quick and easy manner.
How long have they been here?
Mr. Keith, they said, how long you been there?
Roughly?
Year number 3.
And they built this without site plan?
This building was an existing building.
Oh,
It was, he bought it. That building's been there for a number of years.
The change of use.
It was just change of use.
we'll open up to questions. Jim?
Okay, so it's there,
Yep,
it's existing,
yep.
nothing's gonna change with it, right?
Nothing's changing of the overall use, no.
Use,
The
right.
operation's the same as what's been going on for the last 3 years. Again, we're gonna clean up the storage yard, reorganize it. That was part of what we're doing here with the bins and how everything's laid out. He did go over the property line. He's aware that he went over the property line. Neighbors are aware of that, so we're gonna fix that as well.
Okay.
Most of it's just cleaning up and getting the site plan in place so that he can be conforming.
There's a couple of sheds or whatever that are
Yep.
on the line itself.
And they provide the trucking and equipment for paving?
Yes, you provide the trucking and equipment for paving. Yep.
Okay. And they haul it from somewhere else, but this is where everything is kept?
Yep.
All right. Okay, I'm good.
Chuck?
Yeah, I was trying to visualize when the trucks come in or go out. Are they on that gray area?
Yeah, this is the existing driveway right here, this gray area.
And the road boundary is where then?
So this dark line here, this is the road boundary. This little it's a very odd way that the road is
Okay,
ended.
so it's got a little hook to it there?
Yeah, and oddly, like this is the cul-de-sac pavement that the turnaround, but this is their driveway. Trucks come in and come through here.
Okay, with those big trucks there, the gravel bend and is strong enough to support all those weight, all that
Yeah,
weight?
I mean, not for anything. They've been doing it for 3 years, so
They're there.
it's been fine.
You can do a lot of things when you're out of sight too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mary?
So it's at a dead end road with other commercial business. So is this zoned properly for the business? It is, okay.
It is zoned properly for the business. There is a residential subdivision over here. Just, this is the pastures.
Yes. And there's proper buffering and the trees.
There is existing hedgerow here. You can see the edge of trees and brush right down through here.
It's thick.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
Jack?
I'm all set for tonight.
So we received an email correspondence between Pat Reynolds
Okay.
and Carol Holbrook. You familiar with it? The letter, the email?
I was not aware.
I think Pat, Tim, it has to do with the combination of that other parcel and then.
Oh, yes.
Boundaries.
So I think it has to do with this parcel here. Right? So oddly enough, there's an odd tax parcel or somehow it didn't get combined properly. So we were working with Carol at the county tax mapping to combine it all into one parcel. There's some conveyance questions as far as how it was conveyed to the current owner.
So that'll be worked on as we
Yep.
go through this process.
Yep. I thought Pat has that worked out now, but I'll double check.
I think Carol was gonna combine the parcels.
Yeah.
She never, it was filed but never recorded because of, I believe, title issues or name of ownership between the parcels, and they had to file a new deed, right?
Yeah, so what it was is there's if your parcels aren't the same exact identity as far as who they got conveyed to specifically, the tax mapping department won't combine them, even though the intent of the subdivision was to combine them. They need them in the same entity name. And I believe that was the problem, so we had to refile a new deed to get them in the same entity name. Unfortunately, Carol has now retired, so we don't have correspondence with her yet. And even if they do change the tax maps, it won't show up until like March.
But you'll be on top of that.
Yeah, we're just gonna wanna see the copy of the file.
Yep.
Is there something gonna happen with the right of way too? In her email, did she mention something about the right of way in that email?
Yes.
Yep, this is the right of way right here.
The whole thing?
I think it goes to right here, if I remember correctly.
So Pat says that the new tax map doesn't show it. There's another deed that conveys this parcel to Eastern Paving.
Yes. So we gotta fix the deed conveyances, yes.
Did you get a copy of this?
No, I don't. I know, listening to this, I know exactly. Check the deed, should be then file the deeds and you have to give copies of the file.
Okay. Lot 2B next to it.
Yes.
Looks like they're utilizing it now.
Yeah, that is Mr. Sesta's property. He was in here not too long ago with his site plan, and yes, he's putting his building in over here. Yep.
He's under construction.
Yeah, storage.
But this applicant has been using it,
He's been using part of it, unfortunately.
and that'll stop.
And that'll stop. Yes, they're fine with each other, and he's aware, and everything is getting cleaned up.
And the last question I have is the snowplow storage area here.
Yep,
This line encroaches into the wetland a little bit.
a little bit, yes. We gotta
You can
get
ask for permission.
We're gonna get, hopefully that's gonna be part of what we get from the E DEC.
All right. I have no other questions. Mike?
Yeah, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Now, I thought there was another business in there.
Mike, can you grab the mic, please?
While back, I thought there was another business in there, but they are the only business that's been in there for the last 2 years by themselves.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Judy?
I'm
See.
set, thank you.
Neil?
When you say cleaning up, how are we gonna do that? Roof structures,
What do you mean when I said?
you said you had some stuff on the other property.
Oh, this is like gravel that's on the other property.
Mark, you should have the other map, the existing map. It shows the buildings, the sheds encroach on the other property.
That's if you go to the very second sheet. That is it, right? No, you had it. So yeah, there's like sheds and,
Is that
storage.
to clean up?
Yes, we gotta move that and get that onto our property and
Yeah.
reorganize. Yep.
At some point, show that it's not an issue anymore, they moved it or they have permission to use it that way.
Have you officially moved it?
Oh, we're waiting until after the win, I can't.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
Mike and I used to share the other property next to it, so when we did everything, he would say he was years out of using anything over there.
You please approach.
All right. This is Keith. This is the property owner and applicant.
Thank you.
They go. So Mike and I used to own that property together on the left of that. And I was gonna build something on one side, he was gonna try to build on the other. And when Gary came up to sell this property, it just came about, the money made more sense to buy an already set up building. And I sold my half to Mike and just bought this whole property here. So when we were putting it all up, we kind of did rough measurements on our own and kind of came up with where the boundaries were. So when I put my bin up there, I was over about, I think it's like 14 feet or something like that. So,
It's close.
but Mike is, I mean, he knows, he's just in March, April, once the snow melts, we're gonna pull everything forward and get it all set in line where it's gotta go.
We've staked out the property line, so they're fully aware of how far it's gotta move and all that too.
Perfect.
Yes.
All set, Neil?
Yeah, also.
Mark?
Yeah, so. Yeah, I guess the big thing is gonna be the wetlands and getting some kind of compilation, see if they're gonna allow it. I guess as far as what's shown on the other property, maybe you can show the site plan, what's
The other site plan?
site plan for the other site, and
Okay.
show what's proposed there. I guess. You know, this area here, I mean, this. Reflect what's on the other plan, if it needs to
Okay.
be shown to be removed.
Okay.
And restored to grass that show there.
Mark, the aerial is kind of interesting. If you want to pull that up.
Oh, they wanted it to grass, cause he's got to leave a stone path for a fire or fire truck to fit through. He said
Oh,
in the
maybe.
back.
I'll look at what his.
He was saying they had to keep it all, they wanted to keep it all stone or something for a fire truck to be able to fit through the backside of the property.
Okay. Which I think might show up already on his site plan, so
Yeah.
we're just gonna show what's already on his site plan. There.
Mhm.
You can work it off. There's like a pathway here that I assume you've been using.
No, there used to be, we've never used it actually. It just connected. Gary used to own both properties and he used to go back and forth, the person who I purchased the building from. And the land next door at one time, Gary Palladino owned both of them. But there was like a little, so that logging road, Paul Massey owns everything behind me. And he did some logging out of the backside over there and they allowed him to make a logging road out the back so they could clear everything out, the ash trees out that property. So that's no longer there.
All this disturbance, what was that from?
That is from Mike Sesta when he's got a building up now,
Yeah,
but he did all that, cleared all that and
and he told us he was coming back in. So, and there's equipment over there now, is that
he
yours?
has equipment over there now, yes.
That's his equipment?
Yeah.
You all set?
Yeah, I mean, so. I mean, the gravel's going right up to the property line and right up to the wetlands line. There's no sort of buffer. Or anything.
I meant to ask if,
You know, so you've got. You know, effectively 100% lack of the area that's. So I don't know if you want some sort of buffer or anything like that. The dumpster is shown, you know, kind of to the side / front of the building. You know, I don't know if you want to move that into an area that's less visible, not that you get a lot of traffic down there, I'll keep that up to you.
To elaborate on the dumpster, there's a pole, a telephone pole right behind it. And then that's a whole tree line right there. So you can't see that going down the street at all unless you pull onto the property, then you can see like where the dumpster is.
Yeah, you can see the tree line here.
So I don't know if you want to cut back the limits of what's shown to provide some kind of buffer or whether you're.
does this wetland require a buffer?
Well, this wetland's gonna be a DEC wetland, so they changed their regulations, a little over a year ago. And regardless, this was a DEC wetland previously, so there is a 100-foot buffer area that they also regulate. And I don't know what they're gonna say about this, I mean, it's existing, they're not expanding it, I don't know what they're going to say about this.
Yep.
And that's why I don't think we should consider approval of this until we get some sort of indication to see as to whether they're gonna require any modifications to the plan in order to comply with their regulations.
Right, so in the past, what we typically do, we've done a couple of these now, is we show what's there, we'll show what we want to do with as far as with the DEC. And basically, it's almost a back and forth with the DEC as far as what they'll allow, what they'll give us permissions to do. So this plan's going to change, and it's going to reflect whatever the DEC allows us to do as far as where we can impact and how we have to pull things back or not. So once we get that answer from the DEC and get approvals from the DEC, then we would come back. Now, once we get a letter from the DC officially taking it, then we probably are gonna need a negative declaration from this board to start the permit process with the DEC. And just understand this will take a long time. Last time we did it, it took almost 10 months to get.
Wow.
So that's just with the DEC.
Right.
And then once we come back, hopefully we'll have a more confirmed site plan as far as what the DEC is allowed. And then if you don't like what the DC has done, then we can, change it a little bit according to what you guys think. And we can't affect what the DEC approves as far as where buffers and what's been affected. But if you don't like some of the setup, then we kind of talk with this board about that, the finalizing of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I had a couple other questions.
Sure, go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. You
No,
have
I'm
more?
all set, thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of the dumpster, is it enclosed? Does it have a fence around 3 sides or so?
No, there's no fence around it currently.
Because we always look for having
Yep.
dumpsters, bordered with vinyl fencing.
Mhm.
And one more question is, the very bottom left, could you explain that? What's that area usage is?
That area is just like at the end of the day, like we come back from jobs or whatnot, we have extra, we call them spoils, like extra materials that
Mhm.
we have to get off a truck, and then we haul them. That way they don't sit on a truck all night and get hard in there.
Sure.
And then we scoop them up the next morning and then haul them off the site back to the plant if we have anything left.
Okay, so it's just temporary.
It's kind of
type thing.
temporary storage for unused materials.
Okay, I just wonder if that was any conflict between that usage and the wetlands. Something to think about.
Well, that's what I know it's still, if there's something that seeps in the ground, but the back area there, I wanted to make concrete bins.
Okay,
So I could store just some aggregate, run a crush, stuff like that. And then our spoils are all contained in an area so they don't get blown out back into a wetland area. They're
Sure.
kind of
you
in
have
its
to,
own little spot.
you have to stay away from that, of course.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Anybody else? Tim, anything additional?
Nothing additional. Just understand, we'll be back eventually. It's just, we got to go through some stuff.
Understand.
All right?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes the agenda items. Is there any discussion from the team? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Do we have a